And there it is, guys. We have Korokoro finally fully leaked. I am ready to go all in on this because Type Null gets an evolution. There's all kinds of crazy pictures and stuff to check out, and there's even more from the anime. What is all this going on right now? Oh, this is big. So we got Turtonator. We have Samson Oak, or just dressed up as a lone executor. So this is all anime stuff right here. Okay, I guess there's nothing too big right with all of this. Yeah, let's just get into the big one. So the first images from Korokoro have leaked, and they have revealed the latest news on Sun and Moon. As always, do note the translations are preliminary while we work on them. These images confirm the information revealed yesterday, but not shown of Jangmo-o's evolutions, Jarango and Jararanga. Now we have Type Null and its evolution, Silvati. Oh, this is what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the big Type Null feature right here. So when Type Null finds a trainer it trusts, it destroys its helmet and evolves. That is like the coolest thing ever. It has a special item called Memory. Wait, has a special item called Memory. So the item is called Memory that lets it be one of all 18 types at any time, thanks to the ability AR system. It's not currently know whether it's one item that can change this or if there's 18 different ones. It has a new attack called Multi-Attack, which changes type based on the hold item. So it is a poor man's Arceus. That is, okay, that's really cool. And I'm going to get back to that. Let's see what else we have. Also confirms Trial Captain Ilmia for the first Trial Captain, first shown in Japan and Hori City. Okay, I have no idea what's going on right now with all of this. But I think we saw, like, the other Trial Captain. There was, like, a 5th Trial Captain teased in one of the trailers that it's like, okay, what is there really another Trial Captain or something like this? But now let's go and just break down all of these pictures, because this is what we saw. Out of all of the big full leak scans and stuff, we were only able to get this little bit with the Alolan Grimer, and Alolan Grimer shows us some stuff. You know, it's going to be a dark poison typing, which is still really strong. That's going to be lit into the Alolan Meowth. And there we go. So one of my friends said to look for something behind the gumshoes, but I'm not really seeing anything. Like I thought there was gonna be like a new Pokemon form or something. And then the rest of this is just going to be like gameplay and information. Unfortunately, it's not all translated, but we are still looking pretty good on this. All right, I think it's time. It's time to like go all in with the big new information. That's going to be the EVZ move. That's going to be the Z bracelet. Oh. What? I thought they said that they didn't have any. Wait. Did I read that wrong? It also or something about, yeah, but not shown of Jangmo-o's evolutions. Okay, but we do get to see Jangmo-o's evolutions right here. There we go. All right, so this is, yo, that dragon is cool. And it goes dragon, it's a dragon fighting type, which is a new typing. It's also going to have the soundproof ability, so it's not going to be super effectively hit by the hyper voice, or like pixelate hyper voice, or it's not going to be 4 times super effective to certain moves. Like fairy types are still going to destroy this thing. Ice is still a lot of damage, but this is what I was expecting. I was expecting like a crazy scaled dragon, because we see that on just the way that this Pokemon's built. And you know what? Just give me a minute. Let me go and like let me appreciate this, because this is our pseudo legendary. This is like our big boy for the new generation. And I think it works. Like it kind of looks like a petite little dragon right here. And then we get almost like emperor style dragon with all these crazy scales and stuff. I think it might be a little too much on the scales, but it's a solid design. I'm pretty down with the design. Maybe it could have been done like a little more hardcore, but this is still a pretty cool looking Pokemon. So we did end up with this evolution. But now it's time for Type Null breakdown. Yo! That evolution looks so good! Oh, I'm so hyped for it. And it shows that, oh my god, I'm like speechless right now with how cool this is. And we get to see more about it. Can I zoom in? So I want to zoom in and like just see this picture right here. So yeah, the evolution isn't like, wow. Okay, so I was really confused. I'm like, how is Type Null going to evolve? Like, where does that come into play? Because we know what Type Null looks like, and it's also like a Frankenstein's Pokemon that's put together with the parts of other Pokemon. So how does it evolve? How does it breed? How does it do anything of that sort? But we actually see that it has like these crazy wings on its head, and that's what the mask is doing. So if anything, yeah, it's like it's almost like a new form, that it loses its helmet and then it gets all crazy, but it's treated like an evolution. Still has like ridiculous talons and crazy thing, but it looks pretty much the same, except it's more like, I don't want to say robotic, but it's very sleek. And yeah, that's that's pretty much like what we expected. Like, if you look at some of the fan art for the type Null without the helmet, it's very similar to that, so it is wings. That was one thing I noticed from the trailer. It's like this top part of type Null's head kind of like flaps around and stuff, so it's almost like a wing. I think it's kind of silly. Well, I wouldn't say silly. Like, it works. I was trying to figure out, like, there's no way that it would look that way, but it actually does. And then type Null becomes, like, its own thing. Yeah, it's hard to call that a straight-up evolution, but that's going to be really cool. Because we already know with Gladion that he has a type Null, so I guess he's working to, like, get the ultimate trust out of his type Null, and then later on in the story, we're going to see this thing evolve. That's going to be pretty cool, because it will show that he's a powerful trainer and does care about his Pokemon, but it's called Silvati. And I'm actually pretty happy. Like, with everything going on with type Null, it got pretty ridiculous, and I was happy to watch this Pokemon story develop. I can't wait to see more. Like, there gets to be more about this because it has the special item. The item is just straight up called Memory, and it lets it be one of all 18 types. Now, this whole thing about if we don't know if there's 18 different ones, how crazy would it be if just there's one item called Memory, and then you can select which type it gets to be? That would actually be really cool and convenient. I honestly feel like that is the way that's going to go, unless you're given a type Null. Like, if you're given a type Null during the storyline, it might even be like a key item that you can kind of mix around and then throw onto your type Null. That would make some sense. And then it gets multi-attack. So we've already seen Tri-Attack. And after seeing Tri-Attack in the type Null trailer, that's really what made me think this Pokemon has to get Protean. This Pokemon has to get some crazy elemental stuff. But now, it's Arceus. This Pokemon is the poor man's Arceus, because this is a created Pokemon to try to be like a God Slayer and stuff. And we can even see, like, you know, with the helmet that it had. Like, I would have never expected that, though. Because when you think about type Null, I want to go and bring up a page for type Null, because I want to, like, go and really just get everything that's going on with type Null. Because when you look at type Null, it's like this strange Pokemon that it was created for only power, and that it almost feels like a miserable Pokemon, but at the same time, its creation doesn't make you feel too sorry for it. Like, that's type Null. And when you look, like, I would never have expected that its evolution loses its helmet. I would have expected a form change, or maybe that this Pokemon is permanently stuck like this, which would work out in its own way. But oh dude, this is gonna be so cool, because on the 14th, I believe, we're getting more Pokemon Sun and Moon information, so we might get, like, the English reveal, which means we're going to get more information on type Null and its evolution on the Pokemon website, like I have right here, and that's going to be pretty awesome. But going back to how this Pokemon's going to work, like, this thing has to be good competitively, and the really scary thing to think about, what if type Null has good base stats? You could actually slap an Eviolite on type Null, make this thing a tanky mofo that still does crazy amounts of damage. I'm super excited for that. And then with the evolution, it has the AR system. So I guess since it's called system, is this like a mechanical Pokemon? Does it, like, evolve into a pseudo Robo Beast? Or is that just how type Null was created? Yo, it actually has the legendary eyes. That looks like Lunala's eyes. So you can see different parts from different legendary Pokemon, or at least different strengths of different Pokemon being incorporated into type Null for sure. And other than that, the multi-attack. So I wonder if multi-attack is going to work like Judgment. Like, hopefully it has to have 100 base power. If it doesn't have 100 base power, it's going to be really bad, because I don't know if Memory is actually going to boost the move. Because when you think of Arceus, the plates boost the move by 20%, makes it that type so it gets Stab, and then Judgment also gets a really big boost. So it does a huge amount of damage. So if it has, like, less physical attack or less special attack, depending on what's going to be, multi-attack might not be strong, because you have to give it the Memory item. So it's not like you can just Life Orb this thing and do shenanigans. Unless it gets, like, Last Resort, then you can just make it a straight up normal type. Still has Battle Armor. I mean, Battle Armor Eviolite might be pretty decent on regular type Null. I want to see regular type Null being used and the evolution. Like, there is a lot of possibility for that. And then because of Tri-Attack, I mean, this Pokemon might get Ice Beam, might also get the Elemental Attack. So you Ice Beam. I would like to see adaptability to a degree, but also we get to stab it. So it gets, like, one typing, Pseudo Protean. You can make it what you want. I mean, you could go, like, Dark, Ice, you go Dragon into other coverage. Like, there's some really good there's just some good coverage mix-ups. And I would like to go and bring up the move calculator. I just don't remember what it's called. Like, Pokemon DB move calculator. Hopefully that searches up something. Type coverage calculator. So what we could actually do is, like, when this Pokemon comes out and we actually get the moveset, we can maybe figure out something really good. Because I remember doing a video, and it was, like, trivia on the greatest coverage, and it was, like, Flying, Electric, something, and it gave you so many super effective hits. So let's just assume, you know, type Null or its evolution it gets Ice. Does Ice and Fairy really add anything to the table? Because, I mean, you're doubling down on Dragon, so I'd imagine not. You can make it a Ground type. Yo, special Ground type with the Ice. Ground and Ice is really strong. Adding Electric on top of that, yo, that's 500 super effective hits. And Ghost, 571. Dragon, 513. I think that's actually one of the better ways of looking at all of this, because you're just kind of hitting everything pretty well. And then we have, oh, Steel might add on to those Fairy type hits. Actually, no, Steel is pretty bad. But yeah, something like this. So if it gets like Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, and then you run the ground with it, that could be pretty nice. Like, you get perfect coverage. There's nothing that will resist this Pokemon. Fire doesn't add, but that's still like the craziness against Ferrothorn. And I mean, this Pokemon has to have ridiculous stats. I'm super excited about this guy. And I think that's all that we're going to do right now. Like, this is the Korokoro League. This is what we were all waiting for. I already talked about the Alolan Grimer yesterday, so if you want to see that video, pretty much it only has one weakness. It has a 2x weakness to ground, and then it gets minimized, most likely, if it's still like if it's Muck. So Alolan Muck, 1 weakness to ground, it can do some absolutely filthy things like minimize, and then it just tanks you out, never dies. It's still a poison typing, so you can Black Sludge it. We get to see Jarango and Jararanga. I don't know how to pronounce that, but we're still pretty good. And yeah, like that's about what I expected. It looks almost like Egyptian in its own way, just with how it's like dressed in so many golden scales. I like the second evolution more, honestly. Like, that thing looks like it's ready to fight. And it's funny how it just goes from like having this heart thing on its head to being complete boss. I thought it would have wings, because I was thinking more like European style dragon that way, but that's fine. I was expecting it. I knew it was going to be like the pseudo evolution dragon, so that was a cool call right there. But man, Type Null just gets even more fascinating. I'm all about that. So if you guys enjoy the video, huge, massive, super mega awesome leaks right now. I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.